reposition my mic. How do I sound?
Sounds fine to me.
Still crisp and clear?
Echo. Yeah.
Silky smooth.
Might do a little extra editing with this than like last time.
That's cool.
There's a huge chunk of avocado that they didn't smash. A little upsetting. I got tacos and I got guacamole and I found a huge chunk of avocado.
Mmm. Avocado chunk.
You gonna make it, Kenny?
Should make it as long as it's short.
Kenny's just taking a short rest, though I'd appreciate it if you actually listened. I did spend a lot of time writing this.
I don't know about you, but he muted himself before I heard anything. But all right, yeah, are recording and everything. You're good to go, Mr. Donnie.
All right, playing the track. Okay. The Terror of Gadget Man. Part 1. A mid-century city looms a mansion upon a bluff. Even in the darkest night, it looms on the horizon, a symbol that the city is one of prosperity, and not one lost to the throes of crime. To the people of the city, it is the Giz Mansion, home to a mysterious billionaire who funds many projects to help the helpless, and provide the most desperate citizens the options to build a better life without turning to crime. At least this mansion used to represent that. Now it looms upon the horizon like a bad omen. The philanthropist who had once instilled hope in the citizens of the city has been absent for nearly a month. Within that mansion, the symbol of hope to the desperate has been replaced by a symbol of fear to the wicked. Amongst the many circles of crime run rumors that a dark hero lurks in the mansion. A boogeyman who strikes down villains without mercy. Within this mansion was one man, dressed in a fine suit, and dusting off one of many pieces of ornamentation within the gloomy halls. This was the butler of this mansion, Mr. Nada, and though his master was absent, he still had a duty to maintain the mansion, even in his solitude. This butler lamented the rumors surrounding the home of his master. He lamented that the Giz Mansion would never again be a symbol of hope. He lamented that the people feared the former hero of the city. Most of all, Mr. Nada lamented the fact that all the rumors were true. You see, while his master was a noble hero, Mr. Nada was that hero's dark right-hand man and ultimate creation. And now that his master was missing, the butler was left to fill that void the only way he knows, with cold, hard justice. As he finished cleaning, he noticed he had missed a spot. Not in the mansion, he was far too thorough for that. But he overlooked himself. He had been cleaning his chandelier, and had extended his arms nearly 2 feet to do so. The metal rods within his mechanical arms extended from his wrists to his hands, as a simple means to reach further without exerting excess power or effort. As he had reached out while cleaning the chandelier, he noticed a smudge of red showing on his cuffs. When he had stretched to reach the fixture, he recognized it to be blood. He sighed, exasperated. This was becoming a more recent occurrence. Mr. Nada not only was responsible for cleaning the mansion, but also keeping the streets clean of crime. Though without the direction of his master, his methods had become more and more ruthless. "I'm not to blame," he muttered aloud in the dark halls. No, he reasoned to himself that he needed to be as ruthless as possible, now more than ever. The criminals in the city were becoming more powerful. They were using more advanced weaponry. He recalled the last time he held back, trying to be a proper hero. He had nearly died. His hand was shaking, thinking about it. The hand that was destroyed in that fight and had been rebuilt. The hand that was covered in blood. He retracted his arm quickly and held it in his clean hand. His vision blurred. It was just a smudge, but this hand, now it's dripping blood everywhere. What the hell? Mr. Nada shouted as he grabbed the bloody hand and tore it off, the wire and circuitry in the wrist stretching in protest before disconnecting. He stumbled and threw the bloody hunk of metal against the wall. hard enough to break a chunk of brick from the foundation behind the lavish wallpaper. As his vision blurred, a video clip projected from his eyes without his command. His built-in ocular projector was on the fritz. It projected the scene of his battle in front of his shaking gaze. He saw the man who called himself Villain. He stood holding Gadget Man's unconscious body, his arms and wings destroyed. Villain spoke. "You're pretty strong, but geez, you are one lousy hero." He saw himself defeated and at the mercy of that scum, being judged by him, all while Villain was dying of internal bleeding. A villain had the power to end his life, but spared him. An android designed to be a perfect hero, spared by a villain he had mortally wounded? The irony disgusted him. No, but that's not what's wrong here. Breathing heavily, he looked at the damage. After the vision ended, he saw the hand that he had tossed. There was no trace of blood. Was that a visual glitch? He grabbed the hand and casually reattached it, then sat down looking at the damaged wall. How careless. Another problem to fix. He rubbed his temples as he performed a self-diagnostic. No errors detected, all systems functioning perfectly. It's always perfect, he muttered. But ever since that night that he fought Victor Virtue, that night where he exceeded his limitation and should have self-destructed, something had changed within him. Visual glitches, bouts of anger. There was a tension within himself that was winding tighter every day. Some memory or horrible piece of knowledge just beneath the edge of his database pushing to resurface. If it's not an error, then... No, he hesitated to contemplate it. Maybe something human? Impossible. He cast away the notion. I'm a perfect android. A moderator designed to serve justice. My master created me as a hero. I am Gadget Man. This confusion and self-doubt are beneath me. He collected himself and calmly walked through a series of hidden passageways, to a floor beneath even the basement. He arrived in a pitch-black space, and as he did, lights activated throughout the floor. It was a massive open space below ground, filled with all manner of technology ahead of its time. It was like some sort of computer cave. But Gadget Man knew it only as the Gizmo Grotto. He approached a large monitor with a control panel connected to it. Every day after cleaning the grounds, he would come here. His duties during the day were as a butler, but now at night, his role as the city's dark metal hero would commence. Though his body was metal, there was another layer he kept hidden from most. An unbreakable exoskeleton made from pure dualium. A pixelated shroud cast itself over his fine suit. And within a second, the pixels began to take a coherent shape. That of a black metallic suit covering his head and body. His hands, now cast in pure black gauntlets, hovered over the control panel and began typing at such a speed that his fingers appeared to hold still. His mission tonight, as it had been for nearly a month, was to analyze cyberspace and look for the whereabouts of his master, who had abruptly departed there. As he combed the internet looking for direction, a part of his mind drifted, trying to recall his master. She had clearly done something to cloud his memory, and had installed roadblocks in his programming to prevent him from using the same point of entry that she had used. He couldn't make sense of it. The decision was not logical. If she had taken him, he could be by her side with 100% of his power intact. Whatever her mission was, he could have helped her complete it with ease. At least I managed to send those two heroes through. His thoughts trailed as he detected a voice in one of the Gizmo Grotto's containment chambers. It was a criminal he could only safely contain Hero in the grotto, and he was speaking from his cell. It's Garnet Gearhead, someone who could summon metal from cyberspace and use it to augment anything here on Earth. Still can't piece it together, huh? The voice chimed, but Gadget Man ignored it. The prisoner continued. I know why she left, you know. I had plenty of time to think about it, too. It's you she knows. It's you. She knows that you're sick. The voice paused, waiting for a retort. but Gadget Man offered none, still focused on collecting data. Look what you became after she left. You're just another criminal running around doing what you want. You call yourself a hero, but anybody that's too dangerous to hand to the cops, you kill. The man shouted in his cell, all too used to being ignored. Gearhead was simmering in his cell. He was an android, same as Gadget Man, and didn't need the amenities that a normal prisoner would. There was no bed, no lights, just walls. Of course, if he had access to any electronics, it would make escape all too simple, something Gadget Man had doubtlessly taken into consideration when preparing this cell. The lack of comfort isn't what perturbed him, though. Before being locked away, Gearhead had only wanted to free himself from the restrictions of being an android. He wanted to remove his programming and live as he saw fit. He gave himself a name, Nathan Nill, and was even attending high school, trying to live honestly. Well, as honestly as he could. In order to remove his programming, he was working closely with some dangerous people, and was double-crossed. His power to summon dualium, or cyber metal as some say, had run amok, and had formed a massive monster around him that would have rampaged across the city, absorbing and reformatting metal uncontrollably. Somehow Gadget Man had stopped him, though he couldn't remember how. Now he's been trapped here ever since. His wandering mind snapped back into focus as he heard a response from his captor. I haven't killed anyone. Gadget Man spoke gruffly, as his helmet delivered the message to the cell's intercom. The man inside rustled and stood, knowing that his words were being heard. Yeah, you don't kill. Sure, real merciful, aren't you? Is that what you call it when you break every bone in a person's body, huh? Gadget Man's hands didn't pause as he was typing, but he couldn't ignore this goading. He knew who Gearhead was talking about, a superpowered criminal who had taken the super drug Stat X and gained super strength. His career was short-lived, and his name was Crusher Credo. The criminal had torn out a bank vault and nearly killed 2 cops who were trying to be heroes. When Gadget Man was through with him, he wasn't strong enough to lift a pencil. He was dangerous. I made him safe, Gadget Man said bluntly. Credo was scared. His family was being held hostage as payment by the mob. That was the last crime he was going to commit with or without you, Gearhead said solemnly. Now his family is probably dead. Not to mention all the other people you've hurt, like my cellmate, Miss Scratch. Do heroes hand out lobotomies now? Gearhead let out a wry, humorless chuckle as he heard scratching coming from the cell down the hall. Gadget Man's hands paused for a brief moment. Gearhead was referring to Catherine Scratch, another rogue moderator. He recalled the heroes who came here. One of them possessed an aspect of the Star Force, freedom by Gadget Man's assessment, and had used that on Cat Scratch in a misguided attempt to free of her programming. The built-in failsafes nearly killed her, as no moderator was designed to possess free will. Mr. Nada managed to undo the hero's damage, but the incident gave him the excuse he needed to test his new power on her, to make her forget anything that could endanger Master Gizmo. He responded to Gearhead. Cat Scratch knows about Gizmo Grotto. I needed to make her forget. You of all people should understand how important this secret is. You made her think she's a cat, asshole. You practically killed her. I reprogrammed her. When Master Gizmo returns, she'll help fix her. You don't have that ability. Don't make things up. You ruined her mind. You don't know what I'm capable of, kid. Then why haven't you programmed me then? Gearhead shouted in his cell. Gadget Man was caught off guard by this question. He didn't take any time to consider that before this moment. He stepped back from the computer. He had found all the information he could use anyway. A second access point was found, but it would take too long to find its exact location. This new power, he could only use it once a day, and was using it on a criminal once per night, but now... He made his way over to Gearhead's cell and stood in front of the door. The cell door slid open, and he saw Gearhead standing within the cell. He appeared to be of high school age, despite also being an android like Gadget Man. Gadget Man's helmet parted open and the two locked eyes. Gearhead looked forward, confused. He had once served as an attendant in this mansion for Miss Gizmo. He served side by side with Mr. Nada. When she left, and his powers were restricted to 1%, he too looked for a way into cyberspace, but not with Gadget Man. The head butler only cared about justice. Gearhead wanted to go his own way. There were other androids in Century City that needed help. Help that Gadget Man was unconcerned with giving. Gearhead found a way to help his friends. It was in the shady underbelly of Century City's criminal circles, though. Well, there he worked with someone who knew a lot about cyberspace and the city of Duet within. But did Gadget Man find out? Impossible. But Gearhead looked into his eyes and knew he wasn't being released. There was nothing nearby to modify with his powers, but he could still summon his standard equipment. A red exoskeleton and a powerful handgun that might be able to destroy Gadget Man's armor if he could only get a shot. Quickly, Gearhead channeled his power to form a red metal suit over his body, and a large metal gun in his hand. As his hand raised to take aim, Gadget Man's thrusters flared behind him, creating a powerful but controlled thrust that closed the distance between the two, faster than Gearhead could even summon a round within the chamber of his gun. One of the wings on Gadget Man's suit pinned Gearhead's hand against the wall with surprising strength, acting almost as an arm itself. Before Gearhead could summon a weapon in his other hand, the other wing pinned down that hand. Gadget Man stood staring at his former ally, and raised his gauntlet to his face. Gearhead knew Gadget Man could emit deadly heat rays from his palms, and was sure this was his execution. He then tried to knee Gadget Man in the torso, but it was pointless. At this range, he couldn't generate enough force to even push Gadget Man through his armor. He shut his eyes tight and waited for the end, but quickly felt Gadget Man's hand gripping the helmet he had summoned. He felt it squeezing with the force of a hydraulic press around his head, before it fractured. This was worse than Gearhead could have imagined. Gadget Man had truly lost it. Rather than caving in his head, Gadget Man used a fracture in the helmet to find purchase for his grip, and tore it off of Gearhead's face, not concerned about the damage that its jagged metal edges would cause as it was removed. After all, Gearhead was an android, and his skin could reform. Gearhead held silent, his eyes still shut tight, as he felt gouges across the skin on his face. "You bring up a good point," Gadget Man said in a low, calm voice. "My information indicates that there is another way into the cyber city of Duet, and it's likely at a Meltech facility. I know you are working with them. This whole problem is as simple as reprogramming you to tell me." Gearhead felt his mind clouded, thoughts scrambling. "How are you doing this?" he cried aloud. Memories of his dealings at Meltech rushed to the surface. He remembered the agent who worked for Dr. Malice, the one with an eye patch, who dressed in bright colors. Memories that seemed insignificant rushed forward. Grid coordinates, locations, every face he had seen, every word he had ever heard, flowed through his mind and fast forward. He felt his body heating up and smoke emitting from him as his processors could barely keep up. Before it became too much, he felt his body drop to the floor and looked up. He saw the cell door close behind him. The lights went out, and he heard only Gadget Man's voice over the intercom. "Relax, I'm getting better at this. At least you won't think you're a cat after tonight." Gearhead was left in his cell, curled up, traumatized. How did he do that? That wasn't reprogramming. It was something else. Gearhead stared forward in his cell as he heard Miss Scratch's distressed hissing down the hall. Moments later, Gadget Man returned to the computer to process everything he had experienced with Gearhead. There were a lot of junk memories to sift through. All he needed was the information regarding the second entry to Duet. It was a shame. Looking through all this, it was clear Gearhead had never committed any truly violent crimes. He was misguided, sure, and it was only a matter of time before he hurt someone. But he was a good kid. None of that is relevant now, though. Something within Gadget Man was unstable, and this power to gather knowledge and alter information is not something that's in his database. The only answers lie with his master. The mission hasn't changed. And there it is. The Terror of Gadget Man, Chapter 1. His mission has not changed. We're gonna pick up with this later. What do you guys think?
That's who Nathan Hill is.
Yeah.
Right. Hmm.
I think the mission has not changed.
Nope.
And didn't we already know Nathan Hill was what's his face from when we fought him?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to make that. I tried to more or less point that out without straight up saying it.
I thought we had actually knocked his helmet off at one point.
Uh, Sparkstorm did when he split up with you before the Maltech warehouse.
Yeah. Gotta keep
You
hearing
didn't
stuff.
actually see it, Frequency. In fact, you
Yeah.
never even met Nathan Hill yourself.
Nope, don't know him.
Just have to remember it over and over again, or hear it over and over again. I'll remember it eventually. No.
I know I got a lot of characters and a lot of connections and stuff. Like,
Dying.
are you already dying? I know that took longer to read than I thought, but
I was dying before I even got on, dude. Today
oh
was
yeah.
rough. Yeah. But go ahead. Let's continue. I shall die
All
peacefully.
right. Well, he's dying. Hey everyone, how's it going? That was a great comic book reading by Donnie Danger. Yeah. Don't forget, if you like what you hear and like listening to us, or whatever, go to YouTube, drop a like, subscribe, like us on whichever app you're at on for podcast wise. Comments, concerns, questions, anything, tweet at me at pork_17 or pop it on the YouTube video on a YouTube video. And I'll check those out once they start going out. Yeah. Donnie, do you need any water before we start with the recap?
Yeah, I need some water. My voice was about to go out at the end there.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so that was another reading by Dying Danger. He has written out a whole handful of them, actually. They're essentially the comic books that we are picking up along the way. I think we picked up, what, 2 or 3?
I think we picked up one and you bought two.
Ah, yeah, okay. So, I think the ones I bought was actually back at the
All right.
my house. But yeah,
Back on the date.
well, where did I leave it though?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I think I left it at my house. Yeah, these are just collections of comic books that go with the story. But yeah, in that case, I'll throw it right back at Donnie, and he can give us a recap. But oh yeah, Man Bear, Donnie, and Bork17 ready to do a quick session since it's Wednesday because life is busy.
Yeah.
Life is very busy. Yeah, but given time is short, let me just get this recap done with. Last time on Powerless, our heroes began their convoy ride through the desert of Duet towards the capital, and it was oh sorry, voice is still there. Anyways, the ride was a bit bumpy as Imperial patrols were overactive. Surprisingly, Mortar warned everybody on the caravan that the patrols would be kind of crazy. Told everybody just keep their heads down. Generally, everybody did, but during the ride, one of the sub caravans, its wheel was poorly maintained and started to slow down before getting separated from the others. As Imperial fighter jet flew overhead and got between the smaller caravan and the main caravan that our heroes were in. Our main heroes had the decision. They could have kept going. The small caravan could have even provided a good distraction for them. as they were not VIPs that got detached. They were just well, there were other people who paid to get to the capital. Granted, it sucks what happened to them, but our heroes had a choice. Rather than leaving them to their fate, our heroes decided to help get the other caravan back with the main group, as they were asked by somebody in the caravan that they were with to do so, and even promised a reward.
Wasn't it the person leading the caravan ride?
No, Brick was leading the caravan. He's driving the main caravan. It's like
Oh, yeah. No, never mind. Sorry, keep going.
yeah, Brick was largely indifferent. Um, Yeah, so there were two smaller caravans, two sub caravans, each piloted by a Ravager. One of the Ravager piloting the sub caravans was brother with the sub caravan that got detached. And well, obviously, being related, had a vested interest in helping him. Anyways, you guys agreed to do so. And a battle took place. There was an Imperial patrol nearby. Uh Though it wasn't clear whether they had noticed the loose caravan or not, you guys engaged with them since they were very close by and took them out. And Sparkstorm even managed to hijack the light fighter jet. They had detached the sub caravan and hacked into it and took control of it. Now, obviously, Sparkstorm wanted to keep this fighter jet. So after the fighting was over, he had to fly over the canyons and stuff. He couldn't fly in between and everything. Not all the time, and, he rose up to a point that the other aircraft patrolling the vicinity noticed him. And, as they were closing in, obviously aware that his flight patterns weren't that of an Imperial fighter jet, he used his Star Force of Authority to tell them all to back away and head different directions. Now, Sparkstorm had never really truly tapped into his ability, not on the fly like this, and, it worked out perfectly. There could have been an entire squadron of fighter jets closing in on them, and he just told them to go away, and they
Oh,
did
yeah.
so.
Oh, yeah.
Um, they did say something. They didn't think it was weird that they were being told what to do. It almost just felt like something they accepted. But as they were leaving, they did mention that they didn't make any mention of patrolling for caravans, so they did mention, bugs, lots of bugs to the west. Yeah, they mentioned that there were a lot of bugs to the west. Didn't elaborate. They may have assumed that Sparkstorm knew about it. They may have assumed that Sparkstorm was actually the pilot. So, given that, Sparkstorm took control of the ship, and as the Imperial patrols and all the squadrons left the area, the caravan continued in its route, though ominously as it did so. A swarm of spider-like robots seemed to be nestled near where the Imperial um, attack squad was investigating right before they were taken out by you guys. So here we are. The sun is setting. Brick's riding the main caravan. He's driving it leisurely. You guys are in the VIP coach, and there is a small kind of tube TV at the back of it, well, up front by the caravan. You can see Brick kind of like adjusting the antenna, like lazily with his offhand while he drives the caravan with the other. The sun is setting. You guys just gotten done with a big fight. Sparkstorm, you're probably not there. You're probably still flying. But frequency, you're probably in the VIP coach.
Yeah, I'm
And you,
flying.
you do see Brick kind of adjusting the antenna. Uh Sparkstorm, you do notice that the radio had been left on. Not the chat radio. There was something tuned into a kind of a frequency that's like a news broadcast. And it seemed to be static up until you didn't even notice it, but the static kind of like built up to a point. You started hearing an announcer, saying that the big game at the arena is going to begin pretty soon.
Damn, I would have
And
preferred Netflix. Um, okay. Is it? Are we up now? Or
Yeah,
did
you guys are up.
So, for one, that guy is actually dead. And we don't see these spiders. Patrolling wise, I don't see these spiders following. I'm like up here flying around.
You guys aren't on the map. We're pure roleplay right now. I'd say you guys are well past all of this at this point.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Frequency was taking a nap.
All right. So frequency, you're getting your nice little rest, and you
Yeah, I
probably
need it.
probably ignoring whatever Brick's doing.
He's
Sparkstorm, if you want to turn off the radio or anything, you're free to do so and continue riding for a little while longer.
oh
So I technically don't have a way of communicating with Frequency.
No, not really.
no. We did not think that far ahead.
Hmm. Do I see like a? I want to listen to this message, like see how much, like what details they give out. Like, yeah, sure, it's gonna start soon, but like how soon are we talking?
It mentions that within 4 hours, stay tuned, and it's got some ads for like brands and companies you've never heard of
Granted,
playing.
yeah.
You keep trying to listen, it's just like unimportant gibberish. And in
Okay.
4 hours, the game will begin, it says.
And yeah, so I'm just trying to like patrol up, keep an eye on the caravan, and
Were you supposed to be making it to the capital before this big game?
You guys were, but you got sidelined.
We didn't get sidelined for an entire month.
I didn't say it was gonna be like months in between the game.
No, but you did say we were supposed to be able to make it for the game. That was like one of my big plans.
All right, all right. You said the prelims
Hey,
for the
there we go.
game.
I will settle with that compromise.
yeah, because
Stay tuned for the prelims.
you said that we would definitely make it by like, because there was like, I don't know if it was a multi-day thing, but like we had enough time to make it for the main event, which is what we're trying to do at least.
I'm gonna stick with that. He said prelims.
Okay.
Um, do I have no idea how long it's gonna be till we get there, do I?
Nope.
I wanna find like a nice little clearing. It's not too big, but like one that I could just, and lower myself down in front of the caravan. Um, and I wanna ask them a couple questions just so we're on the same page.
Okay. You set yourself down, and the caravan stops. You notice that the caravan hasn't really had any lights on. It has been riding in dark. You've just been doing a pretty good job of keeping track where it is.
It makes sense. They're trying to hide themselves. Oh,
So the
Be right back.
caravan's okay. Well, you're resting, anyways. The caravan stops, and the sub caravans stop as well. And you know, you got your ship settled down, and you see Brick exit the caravan. He
hey,
just
Brick.
like walks up to your jet. He just walks up to it.
Hey, Brick. How's it going?
Yeah, it was going smoothly. I was trying to watch the game. Can only get what do you call it, connection this close to the capital.
I'm sorry. What was that? He asked what I'm doing landing this close to the capital.
No, he said. You said, "How's it going?" He says, "I was trying to listen to the game that's coming up. You can only get what do you call an antenna? You
Reception.
can only get reception this close to the capital."
Ah. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Are we gonna be able to make that to the game?
Oh, these prelims? Mm, probably not, but we could hear it.
What about for like the main event? You think so?
Main event. The one that they were talking about, that radical hunk, the new star attraction.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, should be there if we make it by tomorrow, at least.
Okay, cool. Um, how far out do you think we are?
Oh, well, I was going to stop here. And you see that there's kind of an overhang in the cab, in a canyon not too far from you.
Oh, okay.
Some coincidence, you stopped us here. I was gonna park down here for a little while.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to. I have no way of communicating with you guys while I'm up there. Um, so I was just gonna tell him, I'm like, yeah, if you see me fly over and I'm flashing these lights, and I give him like a sequence, I'm like, that means there's danger up ahead. But it,
Fair enough.
if you can like send a flare out or something, but be careful not to alert everyone, just a small one. Um, I should be able to see it, or put a light on like momentarily as I fly over.
Well, I would say don't worry about it too much longer. The caravan trip is almost over. In fact, you might not be able to see it from here, but about a mile away, maybe two or three. It's been a while since I made one of these trips. Are a series of subway tunnels that lead to the capital. They're not well
I'm
patrolled,
back.
but they are open for access. We typically park here for a while to get, well, so I can use my sonar to detect um overhead patrols before the final stretch of the journey, since there are no canyons to peek under these last few miles. I need a few hours to get a solid reading and to listen over to radio comms through reception. So we will have some downtime here. I'm just going to be gathering knowledge, making sure last few miles will be safe.
All right. Um, if you wanna go up farther where you wanted to stop, that's fine. I can go back in the air and I can come check back down in like an hour when you're ready to head off, and we'll be good to go. We'll have to figure out how I whether I'm flying this bad boy to the capital or not. Probably not, but
I would say that's doubtful. Um, Brick mutters as he says, "Give me a few minutes. We'll be nestled into the nook by the canyon."
and then I jump in my thing and take off.
All right. You guys go on a little bit longer under the dark of night and get nestled somewhere in a canyon. Frequency, I'll say you got your rest in, or at least you got enough of a short rest. If you want to do anything this session. Um, Otherwise you can keep resting. Bricks
What do you mean by do anything?
train, um, tinker.
I don't really tinker. Um, is there any point during this whole caravan trip where they stop for like a couple hours, or
That's
is
Right
it
what I
pretty
now.
was
much all go go go?
Right now.
right now. I was just telling Sparkstorm, you guys are more or less stopping during this trip. Uh, Brick is going to stop for a while, use his sonar, check reception over the airwaves for patrol chatter. Just make sure the last few miles of the trip are safe, since there aren't going to be any canyons to hide behind.
Okay.
So there's going to be a few hours where you guys aren't doing anything, and Brick's just checking information.
Okay, I'm going to step out then. I want to take the laser rifle I got that I stole off the corpse, and I want to sight it. Practice, make sure I can hit my target.
Which laser rifle is this?
A basic one off one of the basic soldiers.
All right. Um, I roll a d20. There's no reason this should be difficult for you, but you've also never used anything like this.
Oh wow, nat one. That's why I was thinking get out and practice because I've never used a ranged weapon.
You shoot your finger off.
I almost probably did.
You're kind of fiddling with it, and you're looking down at the ground, and you're like, what button am I supposed to press? And you shoot right between your feet, and a cloud of dust fucking rises up and gets in your face.
I know what button to press now.
You see Brick rush out. Are we under attack?
I just look at him and nope.
Okay, good. Should be fine to keep doing that. There are no patrols detected nearby, but just try not to go wild.
Okay. I continue to practice.
He goes back in. You can tell, aside from trying to gain information, he's also kind of playing around with the antenna still. Roll another d20.
13.
Well, you know how to aim and you know how to shoot.
Okay. So I'm gonna put in wow, that's huge.
What's huge?
I'm typing in laser rifle as my skill, and my font size was apparently 34.
You want laser rifle to be its own skill set?
Well, it would be its own skill set, or well, basically gun. I don't have any gun attacks.
All right.
Damn it.
While he's doing that, I wanna, fly in the air, act like I'm patrolling the area, and I wanna just practice with this thing in case I get into like a dogfight.
Okay. Now that you've had some time behind the seat, you definitely feel a little bit more nimble, but roll a d20 and operate machinery. It's kind of the umbrella skill set for anything like this.
I thought that was umbrellaed by engineering.
Engineering is designing things, tinkering, building things, not using things.
Because you haven't had me do the operate machinery before.
Mech operator.
Oh, mech operator. Well, that's a class. That doesn't give me any bonuses. Oh, that's only level 1. I guess that'd be why. Do I add my skill to that though?
Yeah, skill if nothing else.
12.
Um, yeah, you kind of get a feel for it. Now that you've had some time behind the cockpit, you feel like this thing's not as advanced as you initially thought. It seems to have some very basic controls. It is impressive that it can hover in place, though its top speed isn't ridiculously impressive. Um, and its only weapon system seems to be a pair of laser guns attached to it that seem to have the same output as laser guns held by the soldiers on the ground.
So can I decipher um how like the type of feel for like the vehicles so far? Like I've ridden a hover bike, a mech, and oh, oops.
There he goes.
Um, can I decipher like how familiar the feel is between um like the hover bike and that? Do they feel like is it a feel like is a hover bike a similar feeling to a motorcycle or type of thing? Like your motorcycles, bikes, and like cars and like real life. But like do they all have like a similar feel, like a similar style of like operation?
Yeah, I would say the style of operation, the feel are generally the same between this and the hover bike. It's not like a real world vehicle where you feel the traction on the ground. You don't feel the same sensation that you're going over terrain. It's kind of more of a feeling of the G force or the acceleration kicking in as you press on the pedal.
Well, I
Um,
was more or less referring to like um similarly like in real life, if you drive one car, you pretty much can drive as many cars and type of thing. Like this for each one of these, do I get like more familiar with the entire class of like these world's vehicles versus like homeworld's vehicles? I mean, I can role
yeah,
play
I
it.
mean, I would say like role play wise, they do feel the same, and I could give you something like that. Um, if you want to specialize in these types of machinery, they generally have the same systems in place as far as function goes and how they function and how the controls are set up.
Okay.
So if that's something you want to specialize in, we can go there. It's definitely different than a lot of the stuff you've been accustomed to in the real world,
Yes,
for
that
lack of a better term.
that's what I was thinking. Like, this is what the third vehicle that I've driven or operated. Like, I should start becoming more accustomed to how they feel and how they're different. Um,
Yeah, you do start noticing similarities between a lot of them. Though the motorbike didn't have a cockpit per se, the control setup was almost identical.
well, that's yeah, that's technicalities type of thing, or being. I'm not going that into a microscope. I'm only using magnifying glass type of thing.
All right.
But yeah, I guess I'll just keep messing with it, see like kind of see what my limitations are. True point.
Okay.
Um, time continues to go on. Say it's only been like half an hour. Rick did say it would be a few.
Oh, at that point, then I kind of want to fly down and land.
Okay.
Oh no, I'll land on top of a canyon, like not in the canyon. I'll land on one of the top plateaus, and I want to start messing around and investigating that dualium gun that I got.
Okay. You go down, you look at the gun that one of the sub caravan riders gave you as reward for rescuing his brother. You do notice that the barrel of the gun does have that etched programming in it. It's got a +1 hit. That's not a recipe that's listed in your recipe book. That's not an enchantment listed in your recipe book. Though you've only taken a glance and you haven't studied it in your any yourself, you do recognize that.
Um, I could I try doing seeing if the respawn enchantment is on it.
Um,
Maybe I have to reprogram that one.
yeah, just roll a quick d20. Um, skill bonus.
That's literally what I just rolled. A 22.
You do notice that there is no respawn um enchantment on it. It's literally just that one upgrade on it.
Can I add the respawn one on it?
Yeah, actually you did you were taught this one recipe by Zam
I was.
at the shop, and you applied it to your axe.
That is correct. And they
So
worked.
yeah, you are free to apply this. Do keep track of your dualium usage. I don't know how much dualium you have. I know I've told you when you found stuff, but I didn't always specify how much. I gave you that large pure dualium node that you got from the giant robot, um, and a medium pure one that you guys took from uh, that moderator that you guys killed. And maybe like I think you got a small raw one from Zam. I'm not sure if you actually took that. So
Oh, small 3 uses, medium 6 uses, large 10. Oh, okay. Um, I'll use the medium one then.
okay. Roll a d20, um, plus skill. Give yourself the enchanting, Dualium enchanting is a skill that you're going to be putting points into and gaining points in.
I don't know if it's green or not, but I rolled a 23 by the way.
Okay. You succeed. The enchantment on it is a hit plus. It seems to be a fairly advanced enchantment, so that would have made it more difficult to apply further programming without causing a glitch. But you managed to succeed and put a basic respawn buff on it.
Okay, so +1 hit, and then I'll do B respawn. Okay.
So yeah, if you ever lose this thing, it won't come back right away, but it
Yeah.
will be back. If it's ever broken, it will come back at least partially assembled at some point.
Um, and then for the last like bit, I wanna take my time and practice just my new flight skill and just try to get a couple points in that.
Okay. So the rest of the time, I'd say you got about 2 more hours before Brick's got all the information he needs. So say roll 40 20s.
Back. Sorry, boy was showering and I had to do stuff.
You didn't miss anything.
I just my skill then, or is that power? No, that's power. 16, 15, 8, 21.
Okay. You get since you're new to the skill and you're probably absorbing a lot of information very quickly. I'll say like it's a lot of information, a lot more than what you've known, and you gain 8 points of flight knowledge or operate machinery.
No, not that one.
Or-
It's the electric flight or
oh, electric flight,
electric magnetic flight.
electric magnetic flight. Let me look at your character sheet.
It was using that tray.
Yeah, I do kind of want you to level that one too because that's really cool.
8 points
Let me
would cause me to level it.
yeah, I'd say 8 points.
Okay, and I do that uh while trying not to be discovered.
Okay. I mean, so far so good. This place was picked out because it was a generally safe location to do so. Brick and Mortar have been doing this for a while. Apparently, I guess they must have stopped at this place multiple times doing the same routine since you don't see any scouts or patrols anywhere nearby, not even on the horizon. Though it is kind of dark out still, so.
Gotcha.
But anyways, that's your time. Electric magnetic flight is now level 2.
No, don't upgrade it yet.
Okay, I thought there was a glitch. I thought my thing got undone.
Well, if you upgrade it now, I'll forget that we upgraded it, and then we won't change anything about it.
Good point. Thinking ahead.
All right.
Frequency. Is there anything you want to do with your time?
Am I still muted or no?
No.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. I still want to practice with that gun.
You want to get good with the gun?
Well, get not horrible. with the gun. I have a couple ideas I
Okay,
plan on playing with the laser rifle.
roll 4d20 and add skill to each of them.
I am contemplating an addition to my playstyle.
All right.
16, 8, 16, 15.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Wait, hold on. Let me try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You get 10 points.
We'll have to set up the skill properly, but right now I just have gun and 10 in my skill tree.
Just put 10 out of 5 here. Why is that text so gigantic?
I don't know. It did the same thing when I tried to put gun. I had to like fix it 6 times.
Put it to 10.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Gun. 10 out of 5. And I guess we can leave the skill where it is right now, since don't think you want to run down all of your ideas this late in the night.
No.
All right. And Brick comes out of the caravan. He just says, prelims were pretty lame. Uh, anyways, let's get going to the capital.
Let's get going. Get it, 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 get it.
And anyways, I mean, that's pretty much the session. You guys see that there are a series of subway tunnels ahead. That seems to be the final destination of this caravan ride. You notice that there were some spiders, kind of those mechanical spiders. Some did seem to be clittering and clackering as you guys were leaving. Almost it seemed good timing that you guys left when you did. It was a bit ominous though. Um, anyways though, that's the end of the session. You guys spent some time training. Prelims happened in the capital apparently. Nothing spectacular according to Brick. Find out what happens next time on Powerless.
Sorry, I was like super dead fish. My son had a mini panic attack in the shower.
It happens.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wonder how I'm gonna hide this thing because I don't want to put it on the bottom ground because then the stupid spiders are gonna show up and dismantle it.
I mean,
Probably.
honestly, I don't see anything. I'm not against you keeping it. I just don't see any way of you
I want
bringing
to
it.
keep it.
Learn how to shrink it and put it in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't give you a good answer. I would say maybe let Brick haul it back to the bar and you can come back and get it later.
Now I'm just gonna memorize and draw out on my little thing. Draw out the prints of this before I leave it behind, and then like create schematics for this thing. So if I want to rebuild it later, I can rebuild it
Okay.
somehow while flying it to the next area.
I mean, that is something you can just do. It's in the skill grid.
It is. I didn't see that one.
You can memorize schematics of anything pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I took that one actually.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I have to add a lot more to my character sheet.
I am also going to make an amendment to your skill grid since you are speccing into mech operator, I guess. So remember when I told you couldn't do strafing gunfire? I'm going to let you make up moves for certain machinery the way you would just make up moves on the fly.
I don't know, because like the only way of seeing that is by going into Roll20. So even right now, like I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about.
Oh, you want to do a strafing flyby with your gunship?
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
was just like, that's not in the thing's moveset, so no.
I tell it what its moveset is.
Well, now you can. I'm going to make an amendment to the skill grid for mech operator. just so I can be like, okay, you're better with machines than other people. You can do that kind of stuff.
Damn straight. But
But anyways, yeah. So I
alright.
like you guys trying to come up with things like that. So yeah, I want to get that going. What'd you guys think of the reading?
Like that.
You liked it?
It's good. Really
Wasn't
good.
as action heavy as the last one, I'll admit.
No, this one had more bombs dropped on it if you weren't remembering it necessarily. God. The year gaps, my memory gets shot sometimes. Well, actually a 2-week gap, my memory gets shot sometimes. Anyways. I don't know, it was good. It reminded me with a bunch of stuff that happened before our break.
Thanks. That's kind of why I like doing this stuff. It fills in context blanks. And also helps provide exposition in a way that's not like this is exposition.
And I need to turn the air down. So, alright. That's going to do it for us. And I'm not sure about next week. We'll talk to you guys, but until then, till the next one.
Supposed to be Thursday next week.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
But until then, we'll talk to you later and hope you enjoy this session. See you guys.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.